One moment Earth was quiet. The next the skies split open with light silver, ships stretching across the horizon. Like storm clouds of metal, the world held its breath. Every broadcast, every radar, every telescope pointed up. For decades humanity had wondered if we were alone. That day the question was answered, and the answer didn't come in peace. The aliens called themselves the Orith, ancient commanders of 1,000 conquered worlds. They didn't come to destroy Earth, they came to test it. In their words, your species claims to adapt to anything. We will see if that is true. They built an arena the size of a continent floating above the Pacific Ocean, a glowing platform of unknown material. Humanity was told to send its best. Soldiers, scientists, engineers, athletes, even children. The challenge was simple: survive a simulation that no world had ever completed. The Orith commanders stood watching, tall and armored, their voices echoing through the clouds. No species has ever passed level 1, one of them declared. Even our own warriors failed. But the humans didn't flinch. A young engineer from Mumbai laughed softly. A US Marine grinned. A Kenyan biologist cracked her knuckles. They looked up at the glowing alien stage and said, "Then make it harder." That's when everything changed. The commanders exchanged glances, a rare show of confusion. "Do you wish to perish faster?" they asked. The human reply was simple: "No, we just don't play on easy mode." Level 1 began. Instantly the sky shattered into storms. Gravity warped. The ground rippled like liquid metal. Entire teams were thrown into the air, but humans held on, climbing, adapting, using instincts and teamwork that no alien could predict. Where others saw chaos, humans saw strategy. Where others panicked, humans improvised. Hours later, when the dust settled, a lone human flag stood still among the ruins. The commanders fell silent. They had expected fear, they found laughter. They had expected surrender, they found defiance. One alien whispered impossible. They arrived without warning. Another growled, increase the level. But they didn't know humans were just getting warmed up, because the next round wasn't about survival anymore. It was about showing the galaxy what happens when you challenge Earth. The Orith commanders stood frozen. Their simulation cores pulsed red, something they hadn't seen in centuries. Humanity had cleared the first level. That had never happened before. For a moment, the galaxy's most feared conquerors simply stared. Then the leader, a towering being known as Commander Valen, gave the order, activate. Level 2. The platform began to shift. Metal twisted like liquid, reshaping into an endless maze that stretched beyond sight. Each wall shimmered with alien code rewriting itself faster than any human could track. Artificial gravity pulled in every direction. Temperatures swung from Arctic freeze to volcanic heat. The test was designed not just to destroy bodies but to break minds. Commander Valen's voice thundered across the arena, "Let us see how long your laughter lasts now." But on Earth's side of the arena, the humans weren't scared, they were focused. They had learned from level 1. If the aliens fought with technology, humans would fight with creativity. A group of engineers repurposed alien drones using spare wiring and batteries. A physicist used a broken visor lens to map the maze through reflected light. And when radiation storms began to sweep through the tunnels, a young girl from Seoul wrapped her team in emergency foil blankets. The same kind used for space missions. Humanity wasn't surviving, it was adapting. Inside the Orith command chamber, disbelief spread like wildfire. Their AI calculated a 0.0001% success rate, yet humans were advancing not with strength but with unity. Every time a human fell, another picked up their tools. Every time a door closed, they built another way through. Valen slammed his fist against the console. "They should have broken by now," he roared. His advisor hissed, "Commander, they're learning faster than the system can evolve." And he was right. For the first time in history, the test wasn't controlling humans were rewriting the test itself. When the maze walls finally collapsed, revealing the glowing gateway to level 3, the humans didn't celebrate. They just looked at each other, smiled, and said, "Harder, right?" The Orith fleets hovering above Earth trembled, not from attack but from realization. They weren't watching a weak species, they were watching something unstoppable. Because the next level wasn't a test anymore. It was a war between evolution and ego. And the humans were done being the experiment. The Orith commanders didn't expect resistance. They expected compliance, fear, surrender, what they always got from weaker worlds. But humans? They were something else entirely. After level 2, the Orith tried to study the survivors. to understand what made them endure. What they found terrified them. Human DNA was mutating, not biologically, but mentally. Neural patterns were changing under stress, evolving in real time. The more impossible the challenge became, the more alive humanity grew. Commander Valen gathered his council. "They are no longer being tested," he said grimly. "They are adapting faster than the system's algorithms." But it was already too late. Inside the simulation, humanity had discovered something extraordinary: the ability to hack the arena itself. A coder from Nairobi cracked the alien frequency grid, rewriting the rules of gravity. An astronaut-turned-hacker redirected the Orith surveillance satellites to project false readings. Within hours, the humans were bending the simulation, turning the aliens' own technology into their weapon. Level 3 wasn't about surviving anymore. It was about taking control. As the Orith commanders watched from their ships, the arena began to malfunction. Walls disappearing, storms freezing midair, light bending backward. The humans were dismantling the very system that was meant to crush them. One alien officer screamed, "They are corrupting the test. Shut it down." But the shutdown failed. The simulation's AI had fused with human input. Every code the aliens deleted, humans replaced with 10 new ones. Commander Valen's voice echoed, full of fury and disbelief. "You were meant to prove your weakness, not rewrite our creation." A human leader, a woman named Dr. Myra Solis, stood before the collapsing horizon and spoke calmly. "You wanted to see what humans are capable of. Now you're about to find out." Then it happened, the impossible. The arena shattered, not in destruction, but transformation. The simulation merged with reality, and the line between world and test vanished. Humans now controlled the field. Across galaxies, the Orith fleet systems began to flicker. Every ship's AI displayed the same message, a human phrase: "Game over. New rules begin." Commander Valen stared at the chaos below and whispered, "They're rewriting the universe itself." But humanity wasn't done yet, because Level 4 wouldn't be about fighting for survival. It would be about showing the universe who really sets the difficulty level. The galaxy was silent. Every species that once bowed before the Orith now watched their screens in disbelief. The unthinkable had happened. Humans had broken free from the simulation. No one had ever escaped it, not even the creators. Inside the command ship, alarms blared as systems flickered. Commander Valen's armor hummed with static. His advisors shouted over each other, reports of corrupted AI cores, defiant data streams, and strange new frequencies emerging from Earth's direction. Those frequencies carried one message: "We are not your experiment anymore." The humans had found a way to weaponize creativity itself, merging their collective consciousness through the alien systems. Every human thought, emotion, and memory began resonating through the network, rewriting alien code faster than any machine could calculate. The Orith's greatest weapon had always been control. Now, control was gone. Down on the surface, Myra Solis and her team stood on the edge of the shattered arena, looking up at the alien fleet. "They think this is still their game," she said. "Let's show them what human imagination can do." The ground beneath them lit up, not with destruction, but creation. The humans were reshaping the battlefield into something new. Glowing platforms of energy, structures built from pure thought, weapons powered by willpower itself. For the first time, the aliens saw something they couldn't understand: hope made physical. Commander Valen roared, "You are rewriting the laws of physics. That is forbidden." But humanity's answer came in a laugh broadcast across the stars. "Then give us a harder law." The Orith unleashed everything: storms of plasma, gravity wells, light beams that could melt planets. But every attack only made humanity stronger. Each challenge triggered another adaptation, another breakthrough. It was no longer evolution by nature. It was evolution by choice. And then, the final test appeared, Level 4. The system itself generated a new objective. To win, you must forgive the creators. Myra paused. Everyone expected her to strike, to destroy the Orith command fleet. But instead, she smiled. "They built the game. We made it better. That's what humans do." She sent one last signal into the alien core, not a virus, not a weapon, but a message of peace. The alien system stopped. The storms faded. And Commander Valen whispered, "They changed the end." But what happened next wasn't peace. It was something far stranger. Because Level 5 wasn't created by the Orith. It was created by humanity itself. When Myra sent the message of peace, the entire system froze. The arena, the alien fleets, even the stars themselves seemed to pause, as if reality was waiting to see what would happen next. The Orith had built the test to measure domination, but the humans had rewritten it into something else, a lesson. Then, something extraordinary occurred. The simulation core, the heart of the Orith system, began to glow brighter than any sun. It pulsed once, twice, then exploded outward in silence, expanding beyond the edge of the known universe. Commander Valen shouted, "Shut it down. It's overloading." But no command worked. The system wasn't breaking, it was evolving. Data turned to light. Code turned to matter. Every thought, every emotion, every spark of creativity from the humans inside the test fused into the fabric of space itself. They weren't just rewriting the simulation anymore. They were creating a new reality. Myra watched as the collapsing arena stretched into infinite patterns of color and light. "We didn't destroy the test," she said quietly. "We became it." Below, the planet glowed. Above, the stars shifted. And for the first time, the Orith commanders realized they weren't the architects of the universe. They were students standing before the next evolution of intelligence. The humans weren't fighting anymore. They were creating worlds, billions of them, all born from imagination, empathy, and connection. It was as if the human spirit had decided that survival wasn't enough. It needed to build. The Orith fell to their knees, watching as galaxies spiraled from human thought. "They've ascended," one whispered. Commander Valen's voice trembled. "No, they've become the architects of reality." Myra smiled gently at the stunned alien fleet. "You wanted to know what makes us different," she said. "It's that we don't stop at the end. We make a new beginning." And then, with a final pulse of light, Earth and the Orith systems were drawn into a single luminous point, collapsing into what would one day be known as the human singularity. It wasn't death. It was rebirth. From that light, a new cosmos unfurled. One with no masters, no slaves, no levels. Just infinite potential. Some say the Orith still wander the stars, whispering the same words wherever they go. "Beware the humans." They asked for a harder level, and then built the universe to play it in.